Some vertebrates have special adaptations to their respiratory systems. Birds are one example. Many birds take long migratory flights, but the Arctic tern is known for having the longest migration, traveling from the Antarctic pole to the Arctic pole and back every year. That's a journey of about 50,000 miles. So, as you can imagine, it takes a lot of oxygen to power their cells on these long trips. During these long flights, birds need to maintain oxygen levels in their blood. Again, this is because oxygen is needed for cellular respiration. So to produce enough energy to maintain flight, they need very efficient respiratory systems. When we breathe, we are only getting fresh oxygen on the inhale. During the exhale, no new oxygen is entering our bloodstream. But birds have some special adaptations that allow them to do things a little differently. Most birds have circular airflow, which allows them to move oxygenated air into the lungs on both the inhale and exhale. So let's look at how this works. When a bird inhales, oxygen travels down the trachea. Some of that oxygen goes directly into the lungs, but some is directed into reservoirs called air sacs. Then, when the bird exhales, the deoxygenated air from the lungs is expelled, but the oxygenated air that was stored in those air sacs moves into the lungs. So even as they are exhaling, they are getting fresh oxygen. Animals that live at high elevations also have to have special adaptations to deal with low oxygen levels. To understand this, we need to know a little bit about how air pressure works. At sea level, all of the air above us in the atmosphere is pushing down on the air we breathe, causing high air pressure. So those molecules in the air are closer together and there's a higher concentration of oxygen in the air. But at high elevation, like the top of a mountain, there is less atmosphere pushing down on that air. So the pressure is lower. This means the molecules are further apart and the oxygen concentration is lower. So animals that live at high elevation need to be adapted to low oxygen levels in the air. Llamas do this by having a different form of hemoglobin in their blood. Remember, hemoglobin is the molecule that carries oxygen in our blood. Our hemoglobin doesn't hold on to oxygen very well in low air pressure environments. But llamas have a different form of hemoglobin that better binds to oxygen. This lets them more efficiently deliver oxygen to their tissues in low air pressure. But even us humans can adapt to low air pressure. Some athletes use high elevation training to improve their performance. When an athlete trains in a low oxygen environment, like the top of a mountain, there is a chemical in the blood that increases. That chemical alters the shape of hemoglobin. Once the hemoglobin changes shape, it can release oxygen to the body's tissues more quickly and efficiently.